Okay, so good morning everyone and welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 13 and we have a topic called the conduct allocations. I'm sharing my screen, don't worry.
Are you sharing?
I'm sharing it now. Okay, so we are in this particular area now, right? Yesterday we saw, yesterday we discussed that how to prepare for the requirement allocation. That what are the steps we have to do in that area. Today we will see that how to conduct that part. Means what is the goal of conducting the requirement allocation? What are the objective? What are the ways to get those requirements to not get to conduct those activities, I can say. Okay, so let's start from here. So there are mainly three types of allocation here. Number one is collaborative. Number two is research. And number three is a experiment. Okay. Collaborative means something where everybody involved and giving his or her input to make sure that what we want to be achieved, we should get it here. So it says that it is the direct interaction. Means boss ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने आपको डॉक्यूमेंट दिया आप बना के दो. नो, अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ बिजनेस में चेंज चाहिए, आपको सिस्टम में कुछ चेंज चाहिए, तो आपको मुझसे बात करनी पड़ेगी. आई हैव टू बी टॉक टू यू, यू हैव टू बी टॉक टू मी, यू हैव टू शेयर योर एक्सपीरियंस, expertise and judgment. At point of time, this is one of the major area. Like we are running this session. It is not research. It is not experiment. It is collaborative. I put some thought, you put some thought, and collectively you say yes, topic has been completed. Okay, so that is the first part. This is one of the major fundamental in the agile. Agile says be collaborative. बिना collaboration के काम नहीं होगा. थोड़ा सा आप support करो, थोड़ा सा मैं support करता हूँ. Then come to the research. Involve systematically discovering and studying the information from the material or sources that are not directly known by the stakeholder involved in the change. भाई अब कंपनी के सीईओ ने या सीटीओ ने बोला, guys, we have to be used or we have to be entered into the metaverse. करते करते that product, that assignment has been given to Hitesh and Suraj. Now they are not just checking that how to implement, they are checking the number of parameters as well. Licensing कैसे होगी, costing कैसे होगी, maintenance कैसे होगी. It means you divided the way of finding out the need, exact need in the systematic manners. जो information आपको direct sources से नहीं मिली, like you talk to stakeholder say boss I know this thing only, done. Now you start your research, and this is the thing which we do when customers say, hey, I want to implement, like I give the example. One of my customers say, Atul, I want to see or I want to do the incident ranking in the service now. I said, okay, he done and dusted here. Then I need to do the research now. I need to go to some videos, some blogs, some content, some article links to understand that part. But in this case, stakeholder might participate. I had a discussion with my stakeholder, guys, what do you mean by the ranking in service now, incident ranking? What type of ranking you are looking for? Then he gave me a little more information, but not completely. He says, I heard someone that they're saying that there is some module in service now of the incident ranking. I want to be used it in that for us. And to do that part, you need the data analysis. This is very much important. If you are working on the process improvement perspective, suppose you are hired as a BA to improve the process. How you will improve the process? You cannot ask everything from the stakeholders. You need to be check the foundation. You need to be check the historical data. One of my friend, there was a discussion going on with her. She says, Atul, I'm a new in this company, and my PM says that you have to be work for the change management improvement processes. I said, okay. How I start that? She gave me a lot of a big plan. I will be checking, I will be talking to stakeholder, I will participate in the CAB meetings, I'll be checking the peer reviews and all the things. I said, boss, wait. Before you do that part, let's go back into the history and find out at least last 6 months data. Let's understand the data. Is that data which the way they're using the change management, are they putting the everything which is required in the change? Are they doing the CAB analysis completely? Is every change is going on the same time or the scheduled time? Are they doing the conflict justification or the detection? Are they getting the CI chain tasks for the change or not? Then we will see that what need to be improved. And you will be surprised when when she get the data of the change management, she says, Atul, in these customer changes, there's a no plan end date they put. I said, you're done for your work now. The first point for you is to be research that why they're not putting that data. What is the loop? What is the background about that? So in this area, you research it, and when you research it, then you can go to the stakeholder. Boss, I found that out of 600 changes, approximately 530 changes don't have any plan and data. Why? एक या दो में नहीं, मैं मानता हूँ, चलो छूट गए भाई, नहीं था, भूल गए, रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं थी, आइडिया नहीं था, बट 550 से 500 में कम से कम आपके पास डेटा नहीं है. दैट्स रॉन्ग. तो वो रिसर्च हो जाता है. एंड देन एक्सपेरिमेंट involves identifying information that could not be known without some sort of controlled test. We prepared one model in my last project. We prepared a model for the change management. But to make sure that this model is working as expected, we start some development in the background. That is called the experiment. Create some dummy data, create some dummy relationship, create some dummy groups, and ask my developer, let's build a logic for the same. Because there's some information which you cannot get from the people or the document. Only you came to know from experiment. जो केमिस्ट्री के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स होते हैं वो क्या होते हैं? लोग आपको नहीं बता सकते कि इस पर्टिकुलर एसिड की स्मेल कैसी है जब तक आप उसमें एसिड मिक्स करके देखोगे नहीं. लोग कहते हैं जो टेस्ट ट्यूब्स रहती हैं वो टूट जाती हैं. Until unless you will not experiment that part. क्यों टूट जाती हैं? Either you put a wrong acid, either you put a lot of acid, either you mix up two different nature of acids, which you cannot find out in the paper or from the people. You came to know from your experience only. People can give you a little highlights. Guys, तेज गाड़ी चलाने से एक्सीडेंट हो जाते हैं. But you did not know with that. You do the rash driving and finally met with the accident. So that is experiment. Experiment can help discover these kind of information. It's like a prototype. It's like a proof of concepts. And we do this thing. Customer says, I will give the business to you if you can give me a POC for the same. You said, okay, no problem. Let's talk about the Hitesh. Hitesh wife in the medical industry. She do some experiments. She do some proof of concepts before she entered into the actual operation theater area. She actually go to the patient to get their history. They do the prototyping. Okay, go and talk to that person. Get the information. Proof of concepts. Important point. So actually में जो आपका requirement allocation कंडक्ट होता है वो तीनों को मिला के होता है, बट कोलैबोरेटिव इज द मेजर वन, बिकॉज until unless you will not know the actual business needs from the people who are using that business or who are in that business, you cannot proceed further. Clear till this point? Any doubt?
Yeah, sir.
Good. Suraj.
So, see, if someone is joining as a PA, okay, he needs to be in operations to know how everything is going on for at least 2 to 3 months, and then he can give some improvement ideas, right?
Right.
Or just by collecting information from stakeholder, because sometimes what will happen, even stakeholders provide wrong information or some missing information which even they are not aware about it.
Correct.
Yeah. In that case, the PA should be in operations so that he knows what is going wrong and where he can improve.
No, BA should not be operation. BA will work or BA will interact with the operation guy to understand the business. ऐसा थोड़ा ना कि हम आपका रोल चेंज कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
नहीं, हम वो नहीं कर रहे.
ऑपरेशंस के साथ इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ेगा ना, क्या मीटिंग्स वगैरह.
So in operation guy will be one of your stakeholder.
Okay.
कि बॉस मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन कहाँ से मिल रही है.
Does that becomes an internal stakeholder अतुल? मतलब
It can be internal, internal, external दोनों में से कोई भी हो सकता है.
ठीक है. And then he can work with that operation.
Right. And believe me, sometimes we need to reach up to operation level as well. क्योंकि the people who are in the operation, they know the business, they know the day-to-day work very deep level. They know how to raise a change. If this information is not available, or the minimum information is available, they know this thing. Okay. Now let's come to the next. Yeah. This one. What are the inputs and outputs for this? Input क्या है मेरे पास? जो requirement plan, जो activity हमने पहले डिस्कस की, कल डिस्कस की, वो मेरा इनपुट है. और प्रोसेस क्या हो रहा है मेरा? कंडक्ट एलोकेशन. गाइडलाइंस क्या रहेंगी इसकी? Which approach you are following, and mainly this thing, if you see supporting material. This is main here. This is main point here. Supporting material. If you have some documentation, some links, some reference, some diagram, some pictures, some videos, some audios, you put that and you conduct the allocation, and it will give you the output of the results. Maybe confirmed, maybe unconfirmed. Let's go to the this part which we discussed just. Okay. This is what we discuss. So this thing is very important, supporting material. Because without this, you cannot proceed. Without this, you cannot go for the research. Without this, you cannot go for the experiment. Either provided by business, either not provided by business. You find out something on the internet and you start doing that conducting part. Guiding allocation activity. Let's see here. Inputs हो गया. In this particular plan, the inputs are activities like techniques, for example, date, location, जो हमने कल डिस्कस किया वो सब इसमें कंप्लीट हो जाता है. Elements क्या है? Guide allocation activity. Understanding the proposed representation of the business analysis information which were defined in planning. Means ये वाले की बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे कम से कम ये जो अप्रोच आपके पहले थी उसको पिकअप करके आपको अपने गाइडलाइन बनानी है कि मुझे कैसे इसको रन करना है, कंडक्ट करना है इसको स्पेसिफिकली. In order to help the guide and facilitate towards the expected outcome, business analysts consider allocation activity goals and agenda. Same. I am sending Suraj and Hitesh to the client side to gather the requirement. They should know that what the agenda and what is the goal of this one. They should know the scope of the change. कि मुझे कितना discuss करना है. In which form the output will be generated. Audio, video, documentation कैसे होगा. How the output integrate into the already known part. भाई आप जो पढ़ के आए उसके ऊपर जो आपको जब आप when you are conducting that allocation activities, you are getting some more knowledge. How to integrate that part? Shall I take that as a base or shall I take the new knowledge as a base? And who provide that information? Your stakeholder part is required here. Okay, then capture it. So now in this particular things, if I say in this particular thing, if I say is that mainly when you conduct, you need to be capture at your side. I'm not saying कि आपने भेज दिया उसको confirm करके भेज दिया customer को, नहीं. You are just capturing that part here. Iterative and take a place in a series of sessions. Plus one thing always remember, ऐसा नहीं है you go to the customer and you get the information and you say okay, allocation process done. No, it is iterative part. In my practice experience, when I work as a business analyst in one of my project, I do approximately 5 or 7 sessions with my customer. Development शुरू हुआ फिर भी मुझे प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, नहीं क्लैरिटी नहीं मिली, थोड़ी सी और चाहिए. Then you do this session just to understand, because if you will not do the requirement allocation properly, the next phase is development, implementation will be hampered very badly. Okay, so better do this part. It's saying prepare allocation. Let's see what it's saying. This one, that you have to follow these things which we discussed yesterday. Okay, let me come here. Elements of it. Now this thing which we're discussing, guidelines. Approach we already finalized in our planning section, that how each allocation activity is performed. Presentations कौन देगा, requirement documentation कौन करेगा, questioning answering कौन करेगा, minutes कौन बनाएगा. That all you have to be decide here. Existing business analyst information. The documentation which you have, mainly what I learned from experience in these area conducting part is that only and only this thing important. This supporting material. More material you have, it easy for you to conduct the part. भाई अगर मुझे पता है हितेश की लाइफ में थोड़ा बहुत क्या चल रहा है या इसके कुछ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन मुझे मिल गए, then it is easy for me to conduct more requirement gathering from Hitesh. So that is important. Generally we miss this part. We say अरे कौन पढ़ेगा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, छोड़ो वहीं जाके पूछेंगे, and then it create a problem for us. So supporting material is required to give a confidence to the customer on this part, collaboration part, research part, and experiment part. ऐसा कभी नहीं होता कि अतुल, now the question can become, Atul, it is a fresh implementation. ठीक है, that's fine, it's a fresh implementation. But something either you have knowledge of that area which you can use, and that is called the supporting material. Even your knowledge, your experience can be a supporting material for us. If you already worked in that particular domain, then it becomes a supporting material for you. So this is the important point here. Now, what are the techniques to do that part? Almost similar. Benchmarking and the market analysis. What it says, when you conduct this thing and what technique you have to follow, use as a source of business analysis information by comparing a specific process, system, product. Means like my customer says, Atul, I want to implement incident management in my database team. Okay. Now what this technique say is a benchmarking. This is the standard process we follow in the market. You can use that one. That is a benchmark. भाई minimum इतना तो होना ही चाहिए आपका. That is called the benchmarking. And maybe for to do this part, you don't require any document from the company. Your experience can be help here. Your market analysis can be help here. ठीक है, तो इसमें इन शॉर्ट अगर मैं इसमें बोलूं कि भाई अब जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि मुझे भी बीए बनना है, then I say you should have minimum this knowledge, then you can become a BA. It means I'm setting a benchmark. And how I'm doing? अरे यार वो BA है ना, मुझे उसके सब BA बनना है. He know the process, he know the system, he know the product. If you learn the system, you learn the product, you learn the service, then you will be BA because you are on a benchmark now. Second part is the brainstorming, which we discussed yesterday. Simple. Sitting together and put the ideas. Let's see how it's go. Then business rule analysis. Used to identify the rules that govern decision in an organization, constraint or enable organization operations. इसको अगर हम एग्जांपल से बात करें, business rule analysis is govern decision in an organization. Okay, so in this case, let's say that I conducting some requirements now. Okay, I'm conducting this allocation process. There's a place where something is conflicting. One person say yes, it working in the same way. Other person may say no, it's not working in the same way. We need to do some manual intervention as well. Then at this point you have to follow the business rule. That boss, give me a decision. It is working via human intervention or without human intervention. That is called the business rule analysis, because otherwise you cannot close that requirement part until unless no decision has been made. This is very much important. Whenever I worked with a lot of very mature BAs as well, who are working in a very good product based companies. When they run the workshops, they are very clear that what is the agenda and what is the rule they need to follow. Like in one of the workshops, I was the one of the decision maker actually. One party say we want to this, second party saying we don't want to see this. Then come to me, okay, so tell me what your thought. I said let's not proceed on this case. Done. Because if there is no decision has been made, your workshops will never be ending. It's always going on. And if it is going on, it means you are not a good BA to close that part. You don't know that how to take care of these things, how to discuss the requirement with the customers, how to gather the requirement, how to make a decisions directly. Okay, then collaborative games or the conceptual models. Something you design on the pen with the pen and paper, a high level with the boxes, that how this will work when we get this required or when we're going to be development part. Data mining is called the information, the patterns. You're deciding some patterns in the system, that how these things work. Like if I say my 80% changes or 90% changes will be high risk always, specifically in the month of the December. Then I need some pattern to identify that part. And I need something to get that, okay, if this is the case, that how I can build my change management process so that during the December month, every change should go to the CAB meeting, because it is a critical time and I don't want to miss anything, any information here. So you start doing the data mining. Identify the relevant and the specifically patterns. I'll talk about the patterns here. Pattern help you to identify that. If I'll give an example. Okay, in my current role, I'm working as a business process consultant. Okay, and I'm working with the 5 or 7 different value streams. I cannot build a solution for one value stream. I want to build a solution which is applicable for each and every value stream. Okay, and we call it as a standard solution here. Now the thing is that I need to be identify the way of working in the different value streams and conclude, yes, now this is a standard way which we can build. Like Hitesh is working in network side. Hitesh says my changes will go to the customer approval. Okay, good. Suraj is working in the database side. Suraj says my few changes go into the customer approval. Fine. There's one more guy who is working on the server side. He says my few changes go for the customer approval. Now by words of Hitesh and by words of Suraj and other guy, some pattern has been generated कि बस कुछ भी हो लेकिन changes जाते हैं customer approval के लिए. I'm getting that pattern now. It means when I build my standard solution, I need to be considered that change should be go for the customer approval as well. This is what we do the pattern part. This is called the research here. This part. More you do research, it is easy for you to build a standard process for everyone. Then document analysis. आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स भेजे, आप एनालाइज करो, पढ़ो उसको. Used to review the existing system, contracts, business process, procedure, policies, standards and regulation. I tell you again that the workshops I'm talking about, where I have a very mature BA, they are so much mature that they will send you the complete workshop agenda well in advance, a week or 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks before the actual date. And they clearly mention, guys, come with the preparation. Don't put silly question that why it is with there. If any question you can ask now, but in the workshop we want to be get a decision only. Okay, so this is called the document analysis, and this is one of the core area for the BA. This is core area for a BA. If you are good in the documentation understanding, then you can draw anything at your side. It can be policy, it can be process, it can be regulation, anything which you want to be put it here. You have to do this part. Then focus group. These are the techniques which I mentioned somewhere in this picture, like these things. ऐसा नहीं कि सारी एक साथ होती नहीं, ये अलग-अलग activities में use होती हैं. So now, like on the focus group. Focus group is again one of the major thing. The workshop which I talk just now, that is again a focus group. Why? Because they only invite very limited person. Maximum 7 to 8% participate in that meeting. पूरी पब्लिक को नहीं बुलाते वो लोग कि चल PM भी आ जाए, स्क्रम मास्टर भी आ जाए, PO भी आ जाए ना. We need only the person who are from the process side. Let's involve that only. Bas. That is a focus group used to identify and understand the ideas and attitude from a group. कि बॉस आप लोग बताओ आपका क्या थॉट है इसके ऊपर. पब्लिक तो ज्ञान देके चली जाएगी. If you start involving your operation guys in the workshop, you're 100% gone. The reason can be number one, the operation guy don't know that why he or she is in this meeting. He will start from the scratch. Scratch means he will start the when when we get a mail, we read that mail, then we go to the X tool, we raise a change, we raise the incident, all the things will be start. No, don't require. I need a focus group who know the process and who can give me the decision here. Then interface analysis. Used to understand the interaction. Characteristics of an interaction between two entities, two systems, two organizations, or the two people, or the two roles. Basically, how you're going to be interact with the other person. Two other roles. That is called the interface analysis. कि ये दोनों ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपस में कैसे काम करते हैं. Like if you're working for a company and they have some subsidiaries as well. You have to build a solution for the subsidiary. In this case, you have to understand the parent company as well. So that is called the interface analysis. You conduct the interviews with the people. ये होता नहीं है. But this is applicable for the people who are on the very high level position. C levels, board levels, management level, जिनका टाइम मिलना जो आपके वर्कशॉप में नहीं आएंगे. You have to get their time and you have to go to with a set of question answers and then ask for the more information. Mind mapping we discussed yesterday, observation we discussed yesterday, process analysis. Very important part. If it is the enhancement project, then this is the base for you. When I go to my customer or I invite them for the workshop, they ask, Atul, how I can raise the incident in service now, or how I can raise a change in the service now. I showed them that okay, this is the way that it has been working. No, this is not the right way. We are doing like this. We are doing like this. Then we say, okay, tell me your as-is process. How you are using the incident management or the change management in a current tool, in the current process. Because unless I will not understand the as-is this current processes, I cannot build the to-be part. This is base. Either you know anything, either don't know anything. Start your workshop. Okay, tell me how you're using at point of time in your area. क्योंकि अगर आपको आज जैसे चल रहा समझ में आ गया, then you can go for the improvement. Like I gave you the example. One of my friends, which she asked that Atul, I want to improve the change management. I said, okay, tell me how they're using in the current state. They're using some tool, I guess a new tool. She told me they're using that tool. In that tool, they don't have anything for the CAD. They don't have anything for the plan and date. I said, that's fine. Then I said, okay, go and check their current tool. What field they are be using at point of time. Are they filling each and everything? Atul, they're putting some new field as well, or they have some new field called the code link as well. I said, okay, that's fine. How we can build that in service now? I said, go and check that what value they're putting in that code link. Is it some link they're putting? It's some random number they're putting. Is there any document, any English lines they're putting? What they're putting? No, it is a link of some code repository. I said, that's fine. In service now you can create a task and you can do it that part. But how I came to know? When you understand the current process. Very, very, very important. BA work start from here only. That tell me what is your current process. Before I kick off this session, I ask you what is your current role, so that I can identify the gap in that and give you the opportunity for the improvements. That is called the process analysis. Process modeling. Now go and talk with the users on the process side, or maybe on the procedure side. If I was in a discussion where we are just starting one value stream coming to the service now. Okay, they says we get an email and then our team raises a change. I said, boss, wait. What do you mean by the we get an email? Who is the we here? He says we means we as a user. I said no. If I need to be say in your organization that I am working, is it me who is getting an email pull? No. Then who is the we here? So you have to be identify that from the process modeling. Up to this level, we raise a change in a tool. Which tool you are using at point of time? I don't know your tool. Tell me which tool you're using. Maybe that information is relevant or not for me, but I need to be understand that part. So this is very much important. These 2 points. And once you get this part, then go for the prototyping using. Prototyping means that let's build a small model for you. It's like a there's a technique, there's a SGLC model, iterative model is there, right? Or prototyping model. Prototyping model say let's build a small product, small POC, small model, show to the customer and get validated, and then enhance that part. That is called the prototyping. Is again a very big I can say technique used somewhere, but it is expensive as well. हो सकता है कि आपका प्रोटोटाइप बहुत अच्छा बन जाए and you are welded to the things. हो सकता है possibly during the prototyping you find a lot of problems as well, which again you need to be go back to the customer and get the requirements again completely. Surveys and the questionnaires. Very less usage. At least in the projects. But if you want to develop a new product, then yes, this is a good way. I'm sure every day you get some mail from XYZ company. Could you please fill the survey? Because they want to get your inputs to build a product, to improve a product. What is the feedback? When you go for the shopping, when you go for the lunch or dinner in a good restaurant, they give you the feedback form. What is the purpose of that? That is questionnaire or survey, which is indirectly they will be asking. What is your name? What is your email ID, date of birth, anniversary? Why? Because via that dates, they can send you the offer as well. But it is also a way to do that part. Sometimes I follow the questionnaire part. अच्छा पूरा डिटेल में भी आ गई, नाइस. अभी नहीं चाहते भी नहीं रहते हैं, ठीक है. I follow the questionnaire part. I know that I'm not getting that timings from the customer, the stakeholders to get the requirement. Then they say, Atul, do one thing, read the documents and send your questions to us. Then I prepare the question they shared with us, the answers. And finally, the workshops. This part. We will discuss this in depth as well when we go to the number 10 part. Okay. Workshops are basically a physical representation where you involve the customer, you involve your teams, and you set of people met somewhere, collaborate somewhere, research somewhere, and finally bring some good output here. This is one of the famous technique we are using at point of time. But it can be physical, it can be virtual. Due to COVID, it's all virtual now. But earlier it was a completely physical. That either you go to the customer side or customer come to your side for 3, 4, 5 days, you discuss the things, and then you get the requirement. Clear till this point? Any doubt?
No, no.
Suraj, clear? Koi doubt, koi question?
No.
Good. Now the next point come the stakeholder. This one, techniques ke baad stakeholders. Stakeholders will not go in the depth because we know that who is the stakeholder for this. Customer, my SMEs, my end users, my sponsors, they are the stakeholders for me. In this specific, the conducting part. Now the question comes, what is the output you will be expecting here? Is the allocation results. I'm not saying that the requirement which given by the stakeholder, it's confirmed, it's sealed. No, until unless you will not do this part, it will not say it's a confirmed. It's everything is unconfirmed. I want this, 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 I want this. Okay, fine. I am okay, but I will confirm you back when I done the solution assessment at my side. I can do or not. Did I understand completely or not? Then I say yes, it is a confirmed results for me. Now with this we completed the two topics in this area. Number one is to prepare. Number two is to conduct. Number three is the confirming the results here. Confirming means what I gather. Like I say, okay, Suraj and Hitesh, any question? You say no. Now you are confirming my results. The knowledge I'm giving to you, the content I'm giving to you, you are understand completely. That is the way. Till the time I ask the question, I assume that you understand everything. But once I ask the question, guys, you'll be getting it. You say yes, you're confirming that results. Atul, we understood now completely. Okay, so the purpose of this is just the purpose of confirm allocation result is to check the information gathered during the session for accuracy and the consistency. The thing which I want to communicate to you. Did you guys get the same thing? To do that part, we have this thing. If you notice in your class, when we're in the childhood or the college or somewhere school, 1 or 2% are there in the class who ask a lot of questions. And we say, अरे इसको क्या है प्रॉब्लम, समझ नहीं आता क्या? नहीं, उसको समझ में आता है, but he's just confirming the understanding by asking the question. अब ऐसा तो है नहीं कि ये अतुल ये काम तो हम भी कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, ऐसे करोगे तो आपका कभी ये प्रोसेस खत्म ही नहीं होगा. So what stakeholder told me, I document that part and send it back to the stakeholder for the confirmation part. Because this is what you want to tell, this is what I understood here. And what is the cycle here is your activity plan, allocation activity plan and existing information which convert unconfirmed to the confirmed now. And how this can be confirmed? It means you are be getting the current state and you're finding you're able to assess the risk as well. How this work? Let me go in here. It says what are the elements? This one. Compare the allocation results against the source information. Very important. And how this work? Let's say customer says, Atul, my change process in the activity I'm talking, the workshop I'm talking, customer says, Atul, my change process say go first change raise, it go for the technical assessment 1, then 2, then go for the CAP meeting. But the document which you read, it says it will go for the technical assessment 1 and the CAP meeting. Now it is a gap. To fill that gap, to verify that gap, we have this process on the place. Confirm the results way. And how you can do? You can do the comparison part. What available to you and what has been told to you now. Okay. Compare the allocation results against the other allocation results. मान लीजिए आपने इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट किया 2-3 लोगों के साथ और एक फोकस ग्रुप कंडक्ट किया. फोकस ग्रुप में X चीज आई लेकिन इंटरव्यू में Y चीज आई. Now you start comparing. अरे उसने he said like this, he said like that. Now who is right? क्योंकि अभी तक आप unconfirmed. If you say yes, everything is fine, you are confirming the requirements now. So better we do this thing. हम ये लोग प्रैक्टिकल नहीं करते, लेकिन लॉजिकली हम लोग करते हैं. अरे उसने तो बोला था यार ऐसे होता है, तुम ऐसे बोल रहे हो। हम करते हैं ये, बट प्रैक्टिकली पेपर पे नहीं करते हम इसको, हम अपने मन में कर लेते हैं। These two things. And what are the guidelines and tool? The same thing, that is activity plan कि मुझे कैसे कैसे देखा था, उसका आउटपुट क्या और मेरे पास अब इंफॉर्मेशन क्या आई है। Can be used to confirm the results of allocation activities. Always remember, that is what I'm saying, that your documentation analysis, your process analysis, your pre-reading, your supporting documentation always help you to do this part as a confirm. भाई अगर फ्रेश इंप्लीमेंटेशन है फिर तो कोई बात ही नहीं है, फिर तो जैसा कस्टमर बोलेगा हम बना देंगे। लेकिन अगर एनहेंसमेंट्स है, इंप्रूवमेंट्स हैं और वो मेजर इंप्रूवमेंट्स है, देन यू हैव टू बी अंडरस्टैंड द एज इज प्रोसेस, उसके बिना नहीं हो पाएगा। एंड व्हाट आर द टेक्निक्स व्हिच वी यूज इन दिस पार्ट? सी, डॉक्यूमेंट एनालिसिस इज द टॉप वन, इंटरव्यूज, रिव्यूज used to confirm a set of allocation results. Such reviews could be formal or informal depending on the group. मैंने यार मैं वर्कशॉप से आया, उसने मुझे बोला कि ना हमारे यहाँ पे रिस्क लेवल हाई होता है, हमेशा लो नहीं होता। मैं गया अपने दोस्त के साथ चाय पे, उससे मैंने पूछा तुम्हारे यहाँ पे कैसे काम होता है, बताइए जरा यार, तुम्हारा मैनेजर तो ऐसे बोल रहा था मुझे। What did you reviewing that part, formally or informally? And finally, the workshops as well. Maybe you can conduct again a workshop where you say, guys, this is what we discuss. This is what our understanding as a service provider. Is it correct? It is wrong. Used to conduct the review of the draft allocation. See, होता ये भी होता है. But in this, you are not going with the multiple cases. You are going with a set of requirement which you understand from the previous steps. And you want to just verify that part. If any changes are there, you capture. Otherwise, it has been assumed, yes, the things which you captured, which was unconfirmed, is now confirmed here. And finally, your stakeholders are domain experts, and you are getting the confirmed results. छोटा है ये पार्ट बहुत छोटा है क्योंकि आपका ऑलरेडी काम हो चुका है भाई। आप हितेश ने बोला अतुल मैं ना छुट्टी पे हूँ 5 दिन, मैं जा रहा हूँ शिमला। अच्छा भाई ठीक है, चले जाओ, कोई बात नहीं। छठे दिन जब हितेश वापस आया, आई आस्क्ड, अरे शिमला में वेदर कैसा था? जस्ट टू कंफर्म दैट पार्ट, द रिक्वायरमेंट ही टोल्ड मी, इज इट एक्चुअली फुलफिल्ड और नॉट? या झूठ बोल के गया मुझे वो। अच्छा शिमला में तुम यहाँ घूमने गए थे क्या? क्योंकि मुझे पता मैं शिमला गया था, मुझे पता है, मैंने ये प्रीवियस करके देखा, मैंने डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पढ़ के देखा पहले, so that I can just getting a confirmation. If he is able to answer my question up to a level, हाँ तो मैं वहां गया, वहां पे बहुत क्राउड था, it means I'm confirming the results now which was unconfirmed till date. वो है ना एक there was a joke that once in IIT 4 students went to a picnic, not went to a picnic, they did not appear for exam. Okay, next day they go and meet to the dean and say, sir, we missed out exam due to some reasons. Okay, and we went to a picnic and our car got punctured. IIT guys, professors, excellence. He says, okay, to everyone, I'm happy to take your exams once again, but I will give only one question. Students are happy, okay, chalo, paper to karne ko milega. Next day, he called everyone and give a one sheet. And he put a one question on the blackboard. Which tire got punctured? क्योंकि actually में ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं था.
Very smart.
Now, yes, now he's confirming the results. Right? उसको पता, प्रोफेसर को पता है कि ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं है. He gathered that requirement. ठीक है, अच्छा तुम्हारा हुआ था, तुम गए पिकनिक पे, ठीक है. He gathered this part. He done this thing. Now he want to be confirm it. He give a one sheet, 4 sheets to everyone. Sit, say, okay, boss, अलग-अलग बैठ जाओ. One question, that's all. Now I'm 100% sure everybody is put a different question. कोई बोलेगा फ्रंट साइड का, ड्राइवर साइड का, कोई बोलेगा फ्रंट साइड में इसका ड्राइवर साइड की सीट का जो होता है, राइट? So this is the way that you have to be confirm the results sometime. Maybe in these workshops you have to be again poke the customer to get little more understanding, little more confirmation part. This is your understanding, yes or no? Yes. Done. Close. The same words we capture as well. I run the process call in my project. Sometimes it is very tough for me to be answer or to write the answers from the different value streams. So I start writing and then I use the same words verbally as well. Guys, this is what discussed that when you click on this button, a pop-up message should become and email should go to X, Y, Z who belong to this particular projects or the accounts. Confirm? Yes, confirmed. Then I send that requirement to my technical team. Clear till this point, guys?
Yes, Atul.
Good. Now let's
Confirm.
close. Yes, that's it. That is the thing. So now the point came, Atul, we are doing this work every day, but the problem is that we are not documenting that anywhere. If you go to workshops, please follow this process very carefully. टाइम टेकिंग है, एक या दो बार टाइम टेकिंग है, लेकिन उसके बाद आपको पता चल जाएगा एंड दैट विल बी इजी फॉर यू गाइस. ठीक है, लेट्स टेक दिस एज इट इज स्मॉल वन एंड देन विल क्लोज फॉर टुडे. Communicate the business analysis information. Now prepare हो गया, conduct हो गया, results confirm हो गए. Now it's time for the communication part. I ask question, guys, are you getting it? Suraj put a question and confirm, yes, I'm getting it. And now I'm communicating to the things which I told you, you guys confirm you understand correctly. I'm communicating to you. Post that, it should not be a question come, Atul मुझे समझ नहीं आया था. Like every day I ask before I stop the recording, guys, any question for the day, anything you want to be understand before I close the recording. What is that? What is, I'm communicating you that I am going to be close the session now. So in this particular step, what this says communicate the business analysis information to the, or I can say that this communication, how this communication works specifically. So what are the inputs जो आपने इकट्ठा किया अभी तक अपने माइंड में, the requirements in BA they call as a business analysis information. And what are the inputs, that what type of meetings are the approach you're following for the stakeholder engagement, and how to store that information is the one of the guideline here, which give you the complete information. And then it says communicated. Any question before I close the call, I'm communicating. No, Atul. Session close. Communication done. Very small step, but very important, because if you see here, let me show you something here. Not here, retain price, approve requirement, strategy analysis. Let me see. Says it not. This one. Because until unless it is not communicated, you cannot start your solutioning part. Once the communication done, then you are free. The thing which you remember, which you remember now, we says as a BA, my work is to gather the requirement, communicate the requirement. So one step has been done now. Post that, I will start working on the solutioning part, assessment part. इसके बाद भी एक वो होता है, communication होता है. If I, let me see if I have that screenshot. लगता है मैंने सारे वो डिलीट कर दिए, रुको मैं एक मिनट याद देखता हूँ। Let me show you this one. I'm talking actually. This one. See, ये वाला काम हो गया मेरा, ये कंप्लीट काम हो गया। इसको ना मैं स्लाइड को वहीं रख लेता हूँ, शायद मैंने डिलीट कर दिया है पुराना स्लाइड था। नाउ आई एम डन दिस वर्क। ये हो गया मेरा, ये हो गया मेरा, ये हो गया मेरा। नाउ आई एम कमिंग टू दिस थिंग, एनालिसिस एंड द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पार्ट। इसमें भी मैं रिक्वायरमेंट इलेक्शन के बाद मैं साइन ऑफ कर रहा हूँ। देखो कम्युनिकेट कर रहा हूँ मैं यहां पर, क्योंकि भाई ये फेज कब क्लोज होगा, जब मैं कम्युनिकेट बोलूंगा हाँ भाई वर्कशॉप डन हो गई पूरी, जो आपने बोला था हमने रिकॉर्ड कर लिया। मैं आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वो बन जाएगा, नहीं, सिर्फ मैंने रिकॉर्ड कर लिया, उसका कम्युनिकेशन मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ। आफ्टर दैट वी विल डू फॉर द एनालिसिस इन द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, फाइनली वी गो फॉर द सॉल्यूशनिंग पार्ट। मींस ये वाला पार्ट हम करेंगे, यहाँ पर ये करेंगे, डिफाइन, ट्रेस, वेरीफाई, ये वाला करेंगे। इसके बाद हम एनालिसिस एंड डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पार्ट, डिजाइन डेफिनेशन स्पेसिफिकली। तो ये स्टेप बाय स्टेप हमने अपना काम शुरू किया था, ठीक है। सो नाउ लेट्स गो बाय दिस वे। डिटरमाइन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड द फॉर्मेट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन। मतलब कि मुझे क्या बताना है उस कम्युनिकेशन में। ये नहीं कि मैंने इतना 2 पेज का एक मेल लिख के भेज दिया सारा पैराग्राफ में, नहीं। I have to be tell very crisp and clear that what I am sending in this communication to my stakeholders. And now if you notice, this communication become the inputs for the solution design. Once you guys say, Atul, I understand this point, now I can start working on your examinations as well. इतना समझ में आ गया, let's have an assignment for them now. ठीक। सो एलिमेंट्स आर मेन एलिमेंट क्या है कि आपको ऑब्जेक्टिव देखने की और मुझे फॉर्मेट देखना है, व्हाट आई वांट टू कम्युनिकेट एंड हाउ आई कैन कम्युनिकेट, टू whom I can communicate, and see who is the audience of this package. क्या वो स्टेक होल्डर्स जिनसे आप बात करके आए हो, या वो सारे लोग जो इस प्रोजेक्ट में इन्वॉल्व हैं। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। जो मिनट्स बनते हैं, जो मीटिंग्स मिनट्स बनते हैं, दैट इज वेरी स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ थिंग्स कि भाई सब सारी जनता को इन्वॉल्व मत करो। ओनली फ्यू पीपल विल इन्वॉल्व हु आर फाइनली गोइंग टू टेक अ डिसीजन ऑन द ओपन एक्शंस। किस फॉर्मेट में, मेल्स में करना है, प्रेजेंटेशन में करना है। सो लाइक दिस इज दिस थिंग्स, फॉर्मल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, जहां पर आप प्रॉपर टेम्पलेट यूज करते हो और एक प्रॉपर डायग्राम वगैरह बना के आप भेजते हो। इनफॉर्मल, सिंपल एक मेल लिखा, हाय गाइस वी डिस्कस दिस थिंग, दीज आर द हाई लेवल इनपुट्स, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर पार्टिसिपेशन, वी आर वर्किंग ऑन द सॉल्यूशन डिजाइनिंग नाउ। दैट इज इनफॉर्मल। और मे बी with the stakeholders you have a different presentations as well. This is what we discussed, guys, this is the solution, this is what we will be getting, these are the road blockers, these are the constraints, because remember assess risk is one of the output, right? So we have to be do that part. We do these things, I know everybody do this thing formally, informally, but everybody communicate to the stakeholder that what they gather now. Then communicate business analysis package. The purpose of communicating the business analysis package is to provide stakeholders with the appropriate level of detail about the change so they can understand the information it contains. भाई आपने डिस्कशन किया लो लेवल के लोगों से, ऑपरेशन और ऑपरेशन के दो ऊपर, लेकिन आप when you are communicating these things with the major or the high level stakeholders. So in this you have to be put things very clearly, not say it we may understand this, it can be understand like this. No, we had a meeting, we discussed on this topic, and these are the specific set of outputs, so that if your stakeholders have any question, they can come back to you. And what this says in this, it can be group collaboration used to communicate the package to a group. Package means the output, the email, the format, maybe the email, maybe the documentation, maybe the Excel sheet, maybe the presentation. That is called the package here. Group means you are sending it to the multiple groups at the same time. Individual collaboration कि भाई पहले मैं एक एक करके भेजता हूँ, पहले एक को भेजूंगा, फिर दूसरे को भेजूंगा, फिर तीसरे को भेजूंगा। लेकिन इसमें क्या है कि मेरे बहुत सारे स्टेकहोल्डर्स होते हैं, पॉसिबल नहीं होता। आप 1-to-1 मेल नहीं भेजते, आप मास मेल भेजते हो। ईमेल और अदर नॉन वर्बल मेथड्स, फोन पे बात कर ली, कॉल पे बात करके उसको बोला हाँ भाई ठीक है, ये करना था ना, हाँ करना था, डन। तो वो चीज गाइडलाइंस इज बेसिकली जो हमारा अप्रोच फाइनल हुआ था, टेक्निक स्पेसिफिकली अगेन either interview, yeah, here we this one. Either you can again go back as a for the interview, not here, this one, sorry. Either interview, either reviews, or either again go back to the workshop and get their feedback on the what you communicated to them. But this is basically to the higher level. ये वो स्टेकहोल्डर नहीं है जिनसे आप बात करके आए हो। पॉसिबल होता है कि वो भी इंक्लूड है, लेकिन यहाँ पर स्टेकहोल्डर का जो टाइप है, लेवल है, वो बदल जाता है। और 1 level or 2 level up, guys. That this is what we understood from the business. This is what we are going to build for you guys. Now tell me, is it correct or not? So they're saying stakeholder can be end users, your customers, SMEs, implementation, your tester, and anyone will be there. And finally, you communicate and you close this part. Which part? This part has been closed now. Only this part. These two are still pending. So this part has been closed here. काफी चीजें हैं इसमें, इसको कल डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है? Any question before I close the recording here?
No,
No, all fine.
Okay, good. So let me close the recording. Stop the recording here.